Welcome, welcome in, come meet my Bristol bro. Anything from this to that, my Bristol bro. So nice to introduce my Bristol bro. Anyone from him to her, my Bristol bro. Work with these hands, you see this art form. Say with your chest, my pen is hardcore. Even at my desk, feel like a star-lord. And it shows how much we give it all for. Now it's time to give them all an encore. Till it's back to the chalkboard. Welcome, welcome in, come meet my Bristol bro. Anything from this to that, my Bristol bro. So nice to introduce my Bristol bro. Anyone from him to her, my Bristol bro.
Boom. We are here.
That song is so obnoxious.
Over and over and over. What?
Johnny Ryan and Stephen Bissett, both their reactions were just, that was interesting.
It's unique. It is unique. All right. Here we go. Who we got in the chat already?
Vic.
We got Vic in the house. What's up, Vic? Welcome in, buddy. Well, I'm wanting to hear about all of Sam's adventures in comic making since going full time. You just haven't taken a break.
Yeah, it's honestly been like nonstop for like 2.5 years now, roughly. Just like pedal to the metal, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Like probably towards the tail end of next year, I'll probably like start to slow down just a little bit, just because of how hard I've been going. Because that'll put me out at about 4 years of just like hitting it, you know,
grinding.
Yeah, and I kind of put myself on a 5-year plan. I think I've told you that before, where I was kind of like I wanted to be at a certain point within 5 years, and I've kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I've hit that point, but I've eclipsed way like further than what I thought what I would have been at this point for sure.
For sure.
So that's kind of, you know, one of the other reasons why I'm just like, fuck it, let's just go ahead and send it and just jump in and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
White Line Deadline 2.
Yeah.
Coming together.
Yeah, I'm deep in it. I have page 19 sitting right over there on my desk as we speak, so I'm starting to get closer and closer to wrapping that thing up.
Nice.
It's gonna end up being probably 30 pages worth of like drawn pages, and then like the first issue, it's gonna have a bunch of back matter in there, so my scripts, thumbnails, all that kind of stuff will be in there. So it'll probably end up being around like 50 to 55 pages after everything is all said and done.
Gonna be a thick one.
Yeah, the first issue was like 52 pages, I want to say, with all the back matter that I added in there, because all of it I put in, and then I do like commentary over top of the over top of like the pages too.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in there and put like a paragraph or a couple of sentences per page, and kind of what I was thinking and my thought process behind it.
Little making of.
Yeah.
See, we got Toya Smith in here. Welcome in. Yeah, the your progress shots that you've been posting, like there's been quite an evolution in your art recently. Do you attribute that to just how much you've been working, or have you been able to like put even more into it since you went full time now?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Certainly after the first White Line issue, and then the third and fourth anthologies, my confidence has gone up quite a bit. And then as well, being able to work on comics full time is, I mean, I was working on it full time to begin with, but being able to give it my full attention outside of, working a full time day job, because, for people that didn't know, it's like I was working from, 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday through Friday doing a day job. And then right afterwards, I was going straight up here and I was working, until 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. So the quality of the pages definitely have gone up quite a bit, because I, haven't been feeling like a zombie, working on pages, and I've been able to dedicate more time to them as
Hmm.
opposed to trying to just rush through them to get them done. I'm able to actually sit and focus on making like quality pages, not that necessarily wasn't focusing on that to begin with.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm saying. I'm able to focus on comics more.
totally.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was especially impressed with that shot of the van that you did on that one page preview that you put out. That was really, really nice. Did you use quite a bit of reference on that?
I use reference for everything.
Yeah.
So, like, over on my wall, so you can kinda see it right there hanging up on my wall right underneath that poster right here.
Hmm.
That's my morgue file.
Okay.
So, it's literally just a butterfly clip, and there's probably, like, 2 inches thick worth of paper in there, and it's all just reference material, and I have it organized, so there's, like, um, figure shots, car shots, buildings, you name it.
You're old school. You actually
Yeah.
have printed out reference. You're not just sitting on Google. You're getting in there. Oh, I gave you the big full screen. Hold on.
Yeah. It's all
Scare me.
Yeah, I use reference for literally everything, and it does come from that very much that old school mentality. And I have a bunch of books as well. Like Japan Book Hunter is a great resource to buy like photography books from of
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch.
that. So I'll buy like photography books from him of like buildings in like Japan and like those like weirder like graffiti style of books
Hmm.
about the architecture. So those have been a big help in that. But the big thing about me keeping a work file came from Joe Kubert. Um, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I went through that correspondence course, so I have a lot of that Joe Kubert DNA kind of flowing through me, and that's something that they still teach at the Kubert school is like keeping an active morgue file.
Yeah, Joe had a crazy, crazy reference
And it's
library.
like and their whole reasoning is, you can create digital files and put them on flash drives and have all that stuff, but then you always have to load up your computer, go into
Hmm.
it, rather than you just having a filing cabinet and just pulling out like
Just
two or
on
three
hand.
photos and then
Yeah.
just pulling from it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I like that old school approach. I have a lot of reference on my shelf over here, and it's just nice to be able to pull that out and like you said, not have to turn the computer on or get on your phone or whatever to find what you're looking for. So, White Line 2, you're gonna have some pretty cool variant or guest artist covers, which I won't spoil for anybody. But how many covers total are you planning to have on this one?
So there should be 4 covers total, so very similarly to the first issue, 3 variants, and then 1 for myself. I'm still waiting on pencils from one of the people that I'm working with, but I
Okay,
do have, pencils, and then like I was just telling you right before we started, I just colored one of the covers and sent it over to the person so that way they can approve of the job that I did on it.
nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited. So how quick do you project it all coming together? Like the Kickstarter is firing up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be launching it the first week of June. That's pretty much
Okay.
set in stone at this point to kind of coincide, with being a Heroes Con. They've already announced, I don't know if you saw or not, but they've already sold more tickets for this Heroes Con in the pre-sale than ticket sales they've had in previous years
Oh,
across
that's
the 3
crazy.
days. Yeah, just in pre-sales.
Yeah,
So
and they
they
got some crazy guests on the guest list.
Yeah, like Scotty Young is gonna be
Hmm.
there, and JR is like the guest of honor this year.
Yeah,
So yeah, tons of people. Yeah, Rick Parker is going to be there, and I'm going to be seeing our boy Don Simpson. So get to see him while we're there.
awesome.
But yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons is kind of coincide with getting all the eyeballs kind of there while the campaign is live. The big con that I did last year was Eddie Con, and I launched the campaign like 2 days after Eddie Con. So I kind of use Eddie as like a lead up going into the con to get more pre-back signups and everything like that.
Right.
And it was somewhat successful. I think I had about like 13 signups throughout the weekend, and it's extremely hard to get people to even hit that pre-back button, even though there's zero string attached to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But once I did, do that, it did end up paying off. But I think, like I said, on this time, like I'm going to use the actual convention while the campaign is live as an advertisement,
That'll be good.
for the actual campaign. Yeah.
Now you're gonna be debuting a new booth setup that you've been fine tuning and crafting here recently?
Yeah, I've been going pretty hard. So my girlfriend and I were kind of thinking like, what can I do to kind of stick out at bigger conventions, because it's like, you've been to them. It's like everybody, for the most part, has generic
Yeah.
tables. There'll just be tables and they'll have like two of like the vertical banners with like their names on it and like a
Yep.
logo or whatever. And like that's generally how they are. And then once you get to the bigger brands, they do more gimmicky stuff. And it's like I want to stay away from that.
Right.
So it's like, how do I get people to um come to my booth without it being shisty or like gimmicky in any way? Um, so yeah, it's just like using like lighting and things like that to try to help grab attention to the booth. Um, and before we did the layout for everything, I come from like a retail background. I was a uh, store supervisor for Office Max for many, many years in
Okay.
the print center as well. So my girlfriend and I, we made I don't know if know what a planogram is, but
Mm-hmm.
basically when you work in retail, when you go into a store or whatever, like their shelf is set up a certain way and people will pay for that shelf space. So like it has to be set up a very specific way,
Yeah.
and like they have maps. That's called a planogram. So it's like we basically made a planogram for my for my con table. So basically like, took a piece of graph paper, drew on it, and then kind of put in like the table is going to be 8 foot, so this is what we can fit on it, so on and so forth. And once we had that design, I went out and bought all of the stuff, and then we did a mock setup down in the basement over the weekend. I sent you
Yeah.
a couple pictures of it and whatnot. So that's kind of what we're going
for. Got some lighting, got some neon.
Yeah, got the neon sign to the logo.
Well, you have a great signature, a great logo, so that's really going to stand out, and it's in your signature pink too, so that's going to catch everybody's eye.
Yeah, dude, and the logo design was something that Sean Crystal had actually recommended me to do, because my original signature or logo, and it was actually what I had used prior to even doing like art and stuff. Whenever I would do like music and whatnot, is kind of how I would sign off on stuff. Is because my initials are actually my name, so my name's Sam Allen McClurg. So my initials are my name. So anytime I sign stuff, it just says Sam on it.
It works good.
So I was using like, as you can see, Kiss is my favorite band. So I always use like the S's, like lightning bolts, So I'll do like S-A and then M underneath that. So it's kind of like we're like a triangle almost.
Right.
And Sean actually had randomly emailed me one day and he's like, love the hustle, so on and so forth, but that logo doesn't work for me. It's hard to read.
Gotcha.
So he's like, I don't know what you want to do with that, but that's my opinion on it, basically. So I sat for, I don't know, probably like 2 weeks or so, and I have a sketchbook full of just with random signatures of trying different fonts and different things. And then I kind of just came to the realization of just like, I'm into graffiti art and everything like that. So it's like, why don't I just like graffiti it up a little bit, and then boom, like that design that you see right there, that was the one and done. And like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, that one's great. Now, what all are you planning on having at your booth available for purchase at this one?
Yeah, so the main things are going to be the first issue of White Line, all the anthologies. I'm going to have t-shirts there. I'm going to have new stickers. I take circle guides with me. I take the micron holders, literally everything that you basically see on my website I'll have with me.
Yeah.
Outside of a handful, of like pages and whatnot, like original art, because I'll have that on the Kickstarter available for sale. So I won't take that to the con with me, because obviously if it sells on the at the con, I'm kind of like put myself in a weird place because I had it on the Kickstarter. So
yeah, and you already sold a lot of the art from the first one.
Yeah, so I sold I want to say about a quarter of that book roughly. And then the rest of the art that I'm going to be taking with me is like, they're not going to be pages, but they're just going to be, like commission style art.
Okay.
Of just like characters and stuff that I've drawn over time.
Yeah. And when you do a con, or are you planning on doing any kind of commissions while you're there? Like doing some little sketches for people? What do you like to do in that regard?
So I don't at all, actually. So if I do commissions, I will take them and then I will do them at home after the con, and then I'll mail them to the person.
You like to have
Uh,
more time? Yeah.
yeah, I like to have more time, and then plus it's like it's like my biggest pet peeve is when you go to a con and you're trying to like interact with the artist or whatever, and they just have their head down and they're just
Mm-hmm.
drawing on their little clipboard. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like why'd you even come here? You can do that shit in your office at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stop.
Yeah. All right. So people can probably get on your commission list then, but not get something from you there in person.
Yeah, I'll
Gotcha.
probably like three to five. I'll probably open up more than
Yeah.
likely. That'll be a good point for me. I'll have white line done before the con. Like I'll plan on having that thing like 100% before the campaign even launches. So that way, once I do get the campaign funds, so it's like the campaign will wrap up towards the tail end of June, probably first week of July, probably, and
Mm-hmm.
then it takes them about 2 to 3 weeks for them to cash out the money to give it to you to pay out. So then I have about 2 to 3 weeks worth of time to kind of play with before I actually, get the money to send it off to the printer.
Yeah.
So just like the very first one, I'll have everything done so that way when I get my money, I can send it off to the printer. So that way you guys aren't sitting around, for 6 months wondering where the hell this book's at. It's like
Yep.
it fast turnaround, like you'll get it within like 2 months of the campaign ending, if not sooner than that.
Awesome, man. Well, this week is kind of like a little catch up for us because the past couple of weeks we had the pre-recorded. We did the watch parties, which actually did really well. I was looking at some of the stats on those. Those have a lot of views, so those were great. The bonus interviews that you conducted by yourself when I couldn't make it. Let everybody know who we got on here with us next week.
Yeah, so we have, I guess he's the CEO of Cosmic Lion, publisher of Cosmic Lion, Eli Schwab. I randomly met Eli working with Cassara over at CAF and OAX and whatnot. I had a meeting with Cassara about just OAX, not OAX, but IC3 plans for Providence because I'm going to be tabling that convention in Rhode
Yeah.
Island in September. And Eli was in the meeting, and I was like, "Hey, you should come on Bristol Bros,"
There you
and
go.
kind of give him the pitch. And he's like, "That's how you do it." So we got him.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you follow Brunson at all? Art of Brunson does
Sure.
Ghost
Yeah.
Man and all that. I think he's done some stuff for Cosmic Lion, or somebody
Yeah.
I've had on here has on that I had on my podcast has done
Yeah,
work for them.
it was Raymar
Okay.
because he
Okay.
does the Ghost Man, and then I think at the time when you had interviewed him, he was doing Sewer Boys with
Yeah.
Eli, not Eli, but Erwin.
Yeah, with
Papa.
Irwin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, another guy that's hustling, man. Brunson and yeah, those guys
Erwin,
are
yeah.
Irwin's cranking along. I'm trying to get Irwin on. He's hard to pin down. I'm trying to get him on either here or on the podcast. He's like, yeah, I'll do it sometime. Like, all right, well,
Yeah,
we'll hold you to that if we can get you on. Yeah, super talented. Well, that'll be a fun one, man. I'm looking forward to that one. For today, we just figured Sam would pull out some of the books from the Sam vault, the stacks. Sam says he's got stacks on stacks. So you want to grab what you curated and get your setup switched over? Or are you just going to hold them up on here? Or what are we doing?
Yeah, I was gonna swap the camera down,
All
but
right.
I already got my books pulled. So
Cool. Well, let's swap it out and let's start letting everybody feast their eyes on this stuff.
Cool.
I'm going to hide Sam while he switches his setup over. And guys, any questions you have in the chat? Just a fun hangout today. Just wanted to catch up with you guys and catch up with Sam. He's got a lot going on. He always motivates me with how productive he is. And this guy is killing it, constantly hustling. You want to make sure you show him love. You can go over to his Patreon. I'll put it up here on the screen for you. Got Sam's Patreon. Boom. Where is it? There it is. Easy to find. Patreon.com/Sam McClurg. It is 18 plus. So you just have to let it know you're 18. and you will be able to get access to all sorts of cool stuff that Sam's posting on there. He's like constantly adding new things over there for free that you guys can see. All right, looks like he's ready. Adding Sam to the stage. Boom. Oh, look at that.
Bought a couple of random ass blind bags, so I figured that would
Nice.
just show off what I got. And they're Cartoon Network ones, and I got a random Snoopy one. But
Those blind bags are too addictive, man.
yeah, I was at Five Below, and I was like, I can't, just not
Mhm.
grab these. So I ended up grabbing a couple of them.
Nice. Well, I'm interested to see what you curated for us today.
All right, so everything that I have is basically brand new.
This is all pickups, recent pickups.
Yeah, some of it is recent-ish, but we haven't done like a haul in a while. So some of the stuff I've already read through, but you guys haven't seen it yet.
Nice.
This is brand new. I just got this in the mail yesterday or the day before. I am in the process of kind of doing a bunch of research on. I need to swap this down here so that's lighter.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll be in the dark otherwise.
All right, so, why is it so dark?
I don't know. There we go.
There we go. So I'm doing a lot of research on James Warren. He's the publisher that, obviously that did Creepy Vampirella, Famous Monsters. I'm a big Famous Monsters fan. Eerie, creepy, all that stuff, but mainly Famous Monsters. So this is his biography that Fantagraphics put out a couple of years ago. And so I purchased this to read it because, like I said, I'm doing research and I want to do like a Famous Monsters fanzine probably.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that me and Mark Unterberger are kind of spitballing right now about working on together because he just finished up his master's program.
Oh, cool.
So he just got done with that. So he's graduating. His thesis and everything like that was good. So.
Oh, he posted that today, didn't he?
Yeah, he posted pages of it. Yeah, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this is just like a book. Jim Rugg, I'm on his Patreon, and Jim's Patreon is amazing. He does like super long posts on there about like stuff that he's reading and things that he recommends. And this is something that at the time when this had come out, he had, recommended it and said like anybody, that's into comic history. So on.
There's that famous cover right there. Yep.
Yeah. So you gotta pick this up and read it and look at it. So it was something that I've had on my list for quite a while. And then I finally decided to pull the trigger on it because now's the, the time for me to kind of start rolling this project around that I wanted to do. So.
Do you have a timeline on that?
No, it's in very, very early
Squeeze
process.
it in where you can.
Yeah. So I'm meeting with Mark, Thursday afternoon, and me and him are going to talk about what we want to do with it. So.
Yeah.
All right. And then I got to pull this one out of the wrapper.
Breaking it out of the protective casing.
So boom. So I've been going down a rabbit hole of Jason. That's just what he goes by. He is Norwegian and his name is just wild. So he just goes by Jason.
Nice.
But yeah, so this was has Mike Allred art right here. And Kim Deitch, but this was I guess like a celebration of Jason. Jason is one of my favorite cartoonists. Like I said, he's Norwegian and they're like underground style comics, but they're very, I wouldn't call them family friendly,
right.
But they're just super dark subject matter.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things where it's just like really dark humor. Super funny art, but it's like you look at it and it's nothing that you would get offended by, but when you actually read it, you're just like, all right, like I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's a little deeper than what it might appear to be.
But yeah, so this was I think it's what Jason Conquers America. And like I said, this was something that Fantagraphics put out, and this is just kind of like a interview between a bunch of different cartoonists, between Gary Groth and like those cartoonists about Jason. Because he's very influential in kind of that Fantagraphics circle of cartoonists.
And you have such eclectic stuff in your collection.
Yes. Yeah, but he's one of my favorites. I bought a book recently. It's called Upside Down, and that was his most recent. Like this was the most recent floppy that came out. But his most recent like trade that came out, it's called Upside Down. That thing's like 300 pages, and it's incredible.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he's got quite the body of work.
Yeah, he has tons. Like he's been around since like the late 90s, but he's been published in America probably like the last like 15 years or so.
Okay.
All right. So another Fantagraphics book. Pete Bag, Butch. So this is just a one-shot spinoff of Butch. He's a side character in Hate. Pete Bag's one of my favorite cartoonists. Obviously, the Fantagraphics circle as well. One of the things that I've noticed though, as Pete has gotten older in age, or just like as his career has kind of gone on, that his ink work is very jaggedy,
Yeah,
like
little
shaky.
wobbly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if that's just because of him getting older, or if he has like a condition, or maybe that's just like that's just how he's drawing now. But it's definitely something that I've noticed at the last couple of
could be a
releases that he's put out.
combination of a couple of things.
Yeah. But Hate, I love it. If you've never read Hate before, it is very much like a Gen like X or like Gen Z, I don't know, comic. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's very much like it pokes fun at just like being a loser.
Okay.
It's like the best the best way to describe it. It's like the main character, Buddy Bradley, that's who this is. He's straight up. He's just a loser. Like the dude just sucks. And he's like the main character in the comic. And that's kind of like the whole comic is like him not being self-aware that he's like a self-loathing loser.
Right.
And it's kind of like him interacting with the people around him, basically.
He's a little
like
oblivious.
Yeah. So pretty funny. It's good. It's good stuff. Again, love Pete Bag. So this is one of those things that you probably won't be able to find out in the wild, because this is one of those things that you either have to have on your pull box or got to get directly from Fanta, because that isn't going to be on a shelf anywhere.
Yeah, probably not a very big print run.
All right, now we're going to get into some West Coast Dave goodness here that I picked up from
West Coast Dave, our buddy.
Boom, some underground goodness. Slow Death. So this is their anthologies. Most of it is Richard Corbin. That's who did the cover here, but this was his anthology book. But man, just crazy.
Love the lighting, man. The shadows and everything.
That's amazing. So he's Corbin is in here. A couple of these other names I'm not too sure with. Jackson, he's somebody that you see floating around a ton in underground books.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's underground. What do you expect from this stuff?
Yep.
But I think as time has gone on, Richard Corbin especially is probably, I think, the most prolific cartoonist.
His environment, the way he draws environments and things and landscapes is nuts.
Yeah, a lot of people would point to R. Crumb, and rightfully so, just kind of being like that more mainstream touch point for a lot of people with underground comics. But I think just Corbin, just in terms of just his ability across all of comics in general, like his writing, his art, everything, his design, it's all just 100% in spades.
Yeah.
Got an old school heavy metal. Some more Richard Corbin.
Go. Is that a Julie Bell or Vallejo cover?
I think that's Richard Corbin.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe it is. Let's see if it's.
I'm sure they pulled from his work.
If it says.
Boris Vallejo, bottom right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I knew I spotted the style.
But yeah, good old heavy metal. I mean, what more can you say, about heavy metal that already hasn't been sung by a million different people?
Do you have quite a big collection of heavy metal?
Oh yeah, I got tons of them. I'm even buying the newer ones, but they're actually pretty good.
Okay, my question is, how do you store them? Do you have special boxes for them, or?
They go in magazine boxes.
Okay, so you got some magazine boxes. You keep them.
I have 2 full magazine boxes, going on a 3rd.
See, I'm trying not to go down that rabbit hole because I don't have any room to begin with.
A lot of that stuff, it's heavy metal, Love and Rockets, because Love and Rockets is all oversized. And then a lot of it too is like Japanese magazines that I've got from like Japan Book Hunter and like Dave and
Right.
whatnot. So ran Xerox. This is one of my favorite stories or comics that was ran in heavy metal, and then they subsequently published it outside of heavy metal, and it's just called Ran Xerox. And I think there was like maybe 1 trade of it.
Okay.
But it is like cyberpunk, but it's all done in like airbrush, and it's done by an Italian artist. So all of it was all originally printed in Italy, and then they translated it here for heavy metal.
Oh, cool.
But it's incredible stuff. I have all of it, and we'll have to pull it out at some point to look at it. But yep, good old Richard Corbin here.
Yeah, such beautiful work, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is airbrushed for sure. This
Yep.
comic is.
Yep.
Dude, look at that.
Just the texture on it. The lighting.
Yeah, it's like anytime I see his comics, it's like hard to describe how it looks. It's just like it just looks wet.
Yeah.
Everything just looks wet and oily.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of atmosphere to it as well.
Something also that I love about heavy metal is you get a lot of that like European flavor of comic. This is definitely very European flavored. Oh wow, that's some risque stuff right there.
You know, it's Bristol Bros. It comes up on here from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, heavy metal, you usually don't see anything that's, outside of just like frontal nudity.
Yeah.
Really nothing that's
Nothing too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. No idea what this is.
Huh.
Something. Yeah, they're just talking about David Bowie for some reason.
Yeah. Valley of the Videos.
This looks like it's maybe like an ad that maybe somebody purchased out and like stuck in here, because it's even different stock.
Yeah, it's weird.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have yet to go through this comic. Oh, this actually is. Oh, this is Rebel. Man, I can't remember. They did print this, and I can't remember who put it out. Maybe it was Slave Labor put it out, possibly in like the mid '80s, early '90s. But this is one of those comics that I saw on Kayfabe. And yeah, it's incredible.
Kayfabe causing people to go out and buy more stuff since.
Yes, sir. But I don't think there's really anything else in here that's really worth pondering over. I mean, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
The airbrush.
Yeah, lots of airbrush.
But it's heavy metal, so good stuff. But yeah, this was 1985, and this is talking about Richard Corbin's Bodyssey.
Oh, okay. There you go.
All right, we'll skip those. And here we go. One of our great friends, friend of the show. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like a split comic. I've never picked up these IDW ROM issues before, and I have like a handful of those Marvel ROM issues from like the original run. So I was kind of interested, or I guess I was kind of surprised to see that like they kind of split up the issues in between the creative teams.
Yeah, so Guy did the second story in here.
Right.
Penciled it.
And good old Sal with the inking on that.
Yep. There
it is.
Buddy Sal. Look at that. Beautiful stuff.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, Guy was showing off some of the pencils from one of these on another on the Sunday drawing stream. Crazy stuff. Oh, Michael Gardner's here. What's up, Michael? Late to the party tonight. Yeah, we're just breaking out some of Sam's collection here. We just looked at this Guy Dorian, our buddy Guy Dorian's ROM
All right,
artwork
folks,
here.
make sure you go out and get your colonoscopies.
There you go.
I
That.
like how they're trying to advertise to people to get colonoscopies, and it's like these are the drawings that they use.
Yep. There you go.
Real men get tested.
Yep.
Ridiculous. All right, and this is something that I've been trying to hunt down for quite a while. They're kind of hard to find, but I was able to find a handful of random numbered issues of these. But good old Tom Scioli's GoBots.
Wow.
Yeah, they're hard to find, man. Like I didn't have this on like a pull list or anything like that at the time when these came out, 2019. Looks like. But yeah, this is just Tom Scioli doing doing GoBots.
Wow.
You know. Yeah, his art's wild. I have a bunch of his stuff in my collection too.
Some originals?
No originals,
Okay.
but I have the very first comic series that he ever published.
Oh wow.
It's called like Myth Opus 8 or something like that. It's essentially it's like a Fantastic Four like or Avengers ripoff.
Right.
When you look at that comic, I'll have to pull it out at some time and show it to you. He was a fan of Jack Kirby. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
wow. Look, I wonder if this is supposed to be an AT-AT at all.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a walker.
Straight up.
Yep.
Right out of Star Wars.
When was this published?
19.
Okay.
Yeah. So
not that long ago.
His I'm not too sure like how he's coloring.
Yeah, the way it's colored made me think it was like an older
like colored
book
pencils or something.
Yeah.
Like all of his comics are colored like this.
Right.
Except for that first comic that I was mentioning, that is straight up just like it looks like digital coloring was done on it. But I'm pretty sure this is still digital coloring as well. But yeah, it's very soft.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to pick up a handful of these issues. They're kind of a pain to find, but I was able to finally find some, so I grabbed them.
Were these all digging through back issues or?
Yeah, just all digging, man. All just digging. So I found 4 and 5. These were the 2 that I found. So
there you go. Shout out to Tom.
Shout out.
Yeah, Michael. Michael says there's a lot of panels on the pages. Yep. Lots of panels.
All right, so where do we even start with this stuff, man? Because I have a bunch of Carl Barks stuff that I bought.
Oh wow.
There's probably I don't know 30 comics right here stacked up.
Grab like a couple.
Yeah, so
standouts.
I was at the comic shop, and I don't know if you're familiar with Gladstone at all.
No.
But they were a publisher like late 80s, early 90s, and their whole shtick was they were basically reprinting stuff that like Gold Key was making, Charlton, like those style of books. So like all the old Disney reprints that now Fantagraphics has the rights to. They were doing that. So they're doing like Peanuts, Dick Tracy, the older style stuff.
Right.
They went out of business, and mainly because these comics are terrible.
Okay.
So like the art in them, obviously it stays the same, the coloring job stayed the same, but just the quality of the actual books themselves, these things are notorious for like falling apart. The paper is just really cheap, the staples on them are really bad, just like a lot of things like that. So usually when you find these, they'll be missing covers, pages will be ripped out.
So it's rare to find them in decent condition.
Yeah, decent condition. And if you do find them in decent condition, they're dollar bin books.
Right.
Even. So it's like I bought like I said, there's probably like 30 of these comics. I bought them for like $12. So but it's Carl Barks. So I mean,
Right.
you're still getting Carl Barks art. So I snatched him up. Um, the comic shop, he will randomly do like these. He'll get in a bunch of like these old Gladstones, or he'll get in a bunch of like the old Gold Keys or Charltons, like the hot stuffs and your
Yeah.
Popeyes and whatever else, and he'll bundle them up, in big bundles of like 10 for 10 for 5 or
Right.
10 for 3 or whatever. So I'll go in there and I'll be like, all right, he's got a fat stack of Carl Barks, so I grab a fat stack of Carl Barks. I don't know. He drew ducks for 60 years or whatever.
He did, man, but the storytelling and stuff is phenomenal.
Gary Groth was just on Direct Edition West Coast Dave's podcast or whatever, and he was talking shit about these Gladstone reprints.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
It is funny.
And then just another example of so this isn't Gladstone, but it is Dell, so this is proper vintage, but this was like another one of those things that he just had bundled up, so it's like a stack of 10 for like $2 or whatever it was.
1952, huh?
Yeah, just old bunch of Tom and Jerry comics.
Wow.
And I was looking through this and I was like impressed, not only by like the cartooning, but like the coloring on it is incredible. Like this comic's from the 50s.
Yeah,
dude.
that
Like,
is
look at
crazy.
this.
Yeah. Very vibrant.
Yeah, it's like, because usually when you see like coloring from back in the day, like a lot of the printing is like really bad offset, like just
Yep.
because the technology just wasn't there yet. And like this comic is just like everything from like the printing is aligned properly, and like the coloring is vibrant. It makes sense, and like the cartooning in it's actually really good as well.
Yeah. Really good.
But yeah, this is just a bunch of random ass comics, and they just throw in a bunch of old stuff in here that I'm not too familiar with. So maybe they were like comic or cartoon properties from back in the day, because this dude looks familiar to me.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I feel like I saw him in something.
But yeah, and then of course with the times, folks, this is a comic from the 50s. You'll get stuff like this. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Not the most politically correct time.
Yeah, for sure. Good old Droopy.
There he is.
Droopy. But yeah, I just have like just a random stack of these. And it was like, I always thought it was funny though how like kids would always just like write their names and stuff on like the covers of these things.
Yeah, always.
The dumbasses.
Yep. Fold them up and put them in their back pocket.
Yep. Gotta hop on the old bicycle and go get my my Red Man.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you're right about the colors though. That is,
dude, it's incredible.
Really good.
That was the first thing that my mind went straight to when I first started looking through these comics, when I first picked them up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure like with what these were meant to be, because they're just like written stories with like 2 or 3 panels worth of art, but they tell the story in like and like a book almost.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Anyhow,
threw it right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, because I think all of these are from 50. So this one's from 1950.
Oh wow.
So that's 50. That one's 58. So yeah, they kind of spread out quite a bit here, it looks like. That one's also 58, and that one was the 52. So they're cranking out Tom and Jerry comics.
Yeah, they were.
Jesus.
Like selling like hotcakes.
All right. I think that about wraps up everything that I pretty much had, because like the rest of the stuff that I have, it's like I don't really think we really need to look at, because it's like the Dick Tracy like space.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that we looked at a million times.
No worries, buddy. We'll get switched back and we'll close things out a little early tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're pretty much coming up to that time anyways, so
Yeah, we're 45 in. It's a little shorter one, but like we told everybody, it was just a catch up. I'm gonna remove you from the stage so you can get
Yeah.
switched over. Oh, I better add myself back to the stage here. Oh, there I am. How's everybody doing in the chat? Chat's awfully quiet tonight, other than our buddy Michael. He's always supporting us in here. All right, now Sam's back. We'll get you back on here, Sam. Boom. That was cool stuff, Sam. It's always fun for me to see just what you have laying around, you know. You're never for a shortage of unique stuff in your collection.
Yeah, it's very eclectic for sure. It's just
It's
random
it's
stuff.
all over the place. You got your 50s your 50s Tom and Jerry, you got your heavy metal, you got probably some few, modern or 90s comics here and there. You got
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people. It's like you get everything from Powerpuff Girls to Archrome.
Yeah. And little blind bag figurines.
Hell yeah, man.
Awesome, buddy. We'll remind everybody again about our guest from Cosmic Lion next week, and I will start putting the banners up, letting everybody know what to do and where to go here.
Yeah, so next week, of course, Tuesday, normal time, 9 p.m. Central Standard, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be having our good friend, I guess, I don't know, Eli Schwab on the show.
If he isn't now, he will be by the time we're done with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold him at knife point.
He will not be able to resist our charms.
And then of course, the Jack Kirby bootleg is out on the streets. It is doing pretty well. I've had to refill it twice at the comic shop.
Sweet.
So it's doing pretty well.
So it's literally out on the streets. You got it up at the local shop and everything.
Yeah, it's out at a couple different shops. There's like 12 shops total that carry my stuff across the US. Like 4 of them here in Wisconsin. They're kind of peppered around. So yeah, shout out to everybody that carries my books.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, and then besides that, going to be at Heroes Con again in June. That's going to be coming up here very, very soon. And then the Kickstarter, same thing as well. It's going to be launching on the first week of June. Every day I'm pounding away at it, getting it done. And like I was saying earlier at the start of the stream, I get all of my stuff done and ahead of time, including the add-ons. So that way, once the thing is done, it is done, and you guys are getting your product, and you're not sitting around again waiting for your comic, and then 6 months down the road, you randomly have a box sitting on your porch being like, "What even is this?"
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, so it's just fast turnaround, folks, and I have a lot of fun stuff planned for the campaign. A lot of fun artists, that was brought on, and honestly, I'm kind of taken aback by who I have. So
everybody's gonna freak out once the news is public. Yeah, very exciting times. And your Patreon, you're very active on there. People need to go over there, get on there. Lots of behind the scenes stuff and keeping everybody up to date on what you're working on. Maybe that'll be the place where you give some a little exclusives to some of the stuff you're keeping secret now. So
yeah, there's already stuff up there that I haven't mentioned publicly yet, but that have been on there and have been teased. Some goodies have already been put up there, and like you said, I'm super active on there. Like every day, if not every other day, there is a post of like a completed page, a pencil page, inked page, whatever I'm working on for that day. I get it on there and I'm talking about it. But yeah,
you remind me, you have a free option where you give quite a bit of stuff, but then you also have the paid option on there where they get quite a bit more.
Yeah, so there's 4 tiers total. There's the free tier, which there's free postings, and a lot of the things that I'm trying to do right now with the free posts is I have a bunch of blog posts on my website that kind of like died.
Hmm.
They had traction on them when I was first doing them, and they just kind of like lost a bunch of readership. So I'm gonna repurpose a bunch of those and put them up onto the Patreon. There's a
Perfect.
lot of information in there that I think would be useful to people, just to like table and cons,
Hmm.
and whatever else I had done on there. Um, and then what was I gonna say, man? I lost my train of thought there. That's terrible.
All the things you're doing, the Patreon, you got the free version, you got the paid version.
Thank you. Yes, the
Buy
tiers.
your
So
stuff at sammcclurg.com.
yeah, so I have a $3 tier, a $5 tier, and then a $15 tier. $3 is just kind of like your general support, like you just want to give me your support, and then as well you do get early access to see things and all that kind of stuff. $5 tier includes all of that stuff, and then as well you get like the books and things like that I release digitally. So like once the books are made up and they're digitized, like you get a copy of the PDF, so that way you get those. And everybody that's joined my Patreon as of now, like I've sent them PDFs of the books.
Sweet.
So they do have those, and that's one of the benefits. And then the $15 tier, that's more like a mentorship thing. And what I want people to know is like with Patreon, you can change your tier at any time. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
stay dedicated to something, because that is more or less if you are going to go to a con and you're nervous about it and you want to talk to somebody and get some like advice, or if you want to have somebody look at your art and get feedback on it, that is what that tier is mainly for. And
Yeah.
then you can change it back to whatever, or if you just want to do it once and
Or
then
if you're starting
cancel it,
your
like
own Kickstarter and need
yeah.
advice from somebody that's done quite a few. Yeah,
Yeah, or whatever.
definitely.
So that was kind of the thought process behind it, because like people like Ink Pulp and things like that, they do more in depth like actual portfolio reviews.
Yeah.
$60, $100 guys or whatever, and they're sitting, going over your work and actually showing you like here's what you should do and everything like that. That's not what it is. It's more of like giving you advice on like your career and your path and like in your art if you wanted that. So it's
Awesome.
it's it's more of like a mentor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it, man. And I put it up in the chat over on YouTube, so the link's there. I am also gonna fire out my link to my Patreon. I have a free tier and a $5 tier. $5 tier, you guys will get the week's episode up to 48 hours early. So I've already got 2 on there that I released early. I'll be doing that every week to where you guys get the access to the full version of the episode, the full video version, up to 48 hours early. So I usually get it up on there on Friday. Lots of amazing guests coming up. I break that news over there on the free Patreon usually. So at least go over there, sign up for a free membership. I give you guys some extra goodies that I don't post anywhere else. And I think that's about it for tonight, Sam. Mr. Victor Medina says, very cool, Sam. And you said, thanks, Vic. There we go. Awesome, buddy. We're looking forward to next week. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Sam, I'll see you on the flip side, buddy.
Bye bye.